Okay, so now we have two reference lines, the target and the average. So we have looked at these summarizations. Then we have model summarizations. So average with 95% confidence interval. So if you bring that, it will give you three different lines. So we have the average, right, and then a confidence interval band, like 95% confidence interval. You can change the, if you go to edit, you can change the confidence level. Okay, enter a specific value, or you can create a parameter. Remember, we did a parameter in histogram. I think you're doing that in your homework. So you can create a histogram and give the user the opportunity to set the confidence level. Okay, and you can do the same thing with median if median is what you would prefer. But of course, when you do median is going the confidence interval for median is calculated using non-parametric approach. Okay. All right, so that's that. We have done trend lines. All right, let's forecast. Let's do forecast in. Okay. Let's skip forecast for now, and cluster again. Cluster in a time series data, cluster doesn't make much sense. So we'll come back to forecast. Okay. Now reference line is the same thing. Like here, okay, you can have a reference line for sales, and then you can decide, what computation you want a reference line for, a constant, or we've already gone through all that. For now, so this is already covered. So let's look at reference band. Okay, reference band. Okay, so you're going to have a band from and a band to. Okay, and then you can do some formatting. So you can have a band from minimum to maximum, and once again you can provide labels like what we have done previously, right? Just a computation or just value or custom. Okay, and the choices for the band from and band to are these. Okay. Then you can change the fill color. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm going to back out of that also. All right, so that's our reference band from a minimum from a from value to a to value, and then you can select what that from value is going to have to be, and so on. Okay, now distribution band. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so in bullet chart we did the distribution band of 60 to 80% average. Okay, and again you can do just a line, or you can use fill, different fill color that you like. Okay, now this distribution band, you have some choices as to what the distribution band need to be. So the default is 60%, 80% of average. So if you select band, distribution band, I'm sorry, distribution, reference distribution, so it's going to be percentile 60 and 80, and you can change that percentile. you can go and manually change that. Okay. Percentages, or it can be percentile. So you specify a particular percentile, so 80 percentile, or 90 percentile, 99 percentile, or you let the user provide the percentile by creating a parameter. Okay. Or you can have quantiles. So if you select 4, that would be quartile, lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. Okay. You can select 3, so in which case you will have 3. The data now is, say, quartile would be arrange the data from smallest to the largest and divide them into 4 parts, right. Now here it is divide them into 3 parts. So that would be the 3 tiles, number of tiles. So if you select, say, 10, that will be deciles, first 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, and so on till 100%. So you can select that if you like, okay. Or you can select a standard deviation. Okay. You can say -1 standard deviation to +1 standard deviation, or you can say -2 standard deviations to +2 standard deviation, or -2 to 3 standard deviations. Okay, so 2 standard deviation and 3 standard deviation. So you can select the standard deviations that you want. Usually you want this to be symmetric, okay. And sample and population would be the denominator for standard deviation. If you use a degrees of freedom n-1, then that's sample. If it is n, it's population.
Why is it that when you go back to percentages from there, it like changes your chart? Like, click on percentage now. Does it change your chart?
This one?
The top one.
Percentages. Okay. So okay, so here this is total. I don't know, I must have accidentally changed it to total. So that's the reason why these 2 lines are way up there, whereas the actual sales values are way down here. So it should be 60 to 80% of average.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So then it will be okay. I don't know how it got changed to total average. Okay. So then it will be the same chart. Okay. Of course, if you want to get rid of the grid lines, you know how to do that, right? Go to lines, and then grid lines to none, and then it will be gone. Okay. And then you have box plot. It's the same thing from there. Box plot. It's going to put a box plot in there. And here I forgot to mention this. So here is where you select what you want. So if you select maximum extent of the data, then it will go to, the whiskers will go down to minimum on the lower side and to the maximum on the upper side. Yeah. Or you can select 1.5 IQR. So if you select maximum extent, then the whiskers will extend to the top the maximum value on the higher side and the minimum value on the lower side.
But I was saying you're talking about three times IQR is like extreme.
Yeah, that's going to be even larger, but looks like it's not giving you that option here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's only one of these two. Okay, here if you want to remove the shade, it's kind of a shaded box. You need to do some formatting here. All right, so then you have that shading, box shading is gone. If you don't like, I don't like this box shading, so you can format the shading off. Reference line shading. I don't know why that didn't work. Okay, that's need to do format label. All right. So average format. Reference line label is 0. I don't know why we need to experiment with this some more to get rid of the background box.